This is the Canon R6. Yes, I did purchase it, and yes, it's in the studio, and yes, it's staying. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. Today we're talking about the Canon R6. Great camera overall. My first impressions, not this video. I just picked it up and I thought I would make a video about I picked it up, and of course, asking you guys for questions because I'm going to be doing a lot of testing and I want to know what kind of questions you guys have. More on that in just a sec. Let's focus on a few things as to why I bought it and why I think it was a good buy, why I'm enjoying it within just a couple of days of using it, and of course, why I will be doing certain testing and how that all fits the narrative with you guys. So I purchased this camera during Black Friday events. So Pro Fusion occurred with Vistec, which is a Canadian retailer, and they do some pretty special deals during Pro Fusion. And I went for the Canon R6. And while I did have some issues with my purchasing, I did have an unexpected good result with the company and the management, and I ended up buying the 2470. It was on sale too, and this was really the convincing factor of buying this. And along the way I did buy the 15 to 35 as well, which I have it on the R right now, and it's like even the autofocus on the Canon R has gotten better because of this lens, and the look just awesome. So I bought the R5 too, so that's coming in as well. And I thought to myself, the deals were good, and they're so good that I can flip these cameras if I have to switch to Sony, because originally I wanted to switch to Sony. I kind of got fed up with all the different scenarios that are occurring with the Canons and what's going to happen in the future. And the only thing that was holding me back was the lenses. And then I purchased the lenses, and that's kind of brought us here. Can I still flip everything if I want to switch to Sony? Yes. 100%. The idea is that I know there's issues with this, but I also know that people overreact. And I also know that some people expect something to do, something that may never do it. And this is where we watch all the videos online with different creators, different YouTubers, different people talking about, say, the overheating or the image stabilization. And you take a step back and you go, what's your workflow like? Because we need to have similar workflows in order for me to take your word on whether this camera is going to be good for me. And that's something that we often miss the mark on. And I got to address it in that way and not be upset at the creator world, because they're just doing what they're doing. And a lot of the times they're getting reviews just done and to get clicks and views and all that. So I'm going to be doing real testing to see if this fits my workflow. I'm going to be sharing you that workflow of the testing that I did and where it makes sense, so you can make a better educated decision on it. Why? Because I got this camera and right off the bat, I put it on to film myself on one of these videos, and it overheated at 27 minutes in my studio. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's too hot in the studio. But at that, this camera should not be overheating on 24p 4K like that. And then I tested it in a couple of different scenarios, and I got way more time. So now I got to look at what is the testing I need to do in order for it to fit my workflow. I don't want to be caught flat-footed in a client scenario. That's the bottom line. In the studio, when I'm doing my work, this can overheat, and yeah, I'll start over or do whatever. But in client land, I can't have that happen. So I need to know what the workflow I'm going to be doing, if this tool works for it, if the R5 that's coming in works for it, and I need to know if it's the good idea of me keeping it or me looking for another play. So when I do see the Sony stuff go on sale, or I see it at a price that I like, or I just get fed up with this, I make the move, And that's the thought process I'm moving in. Now, the idea of taking it out and going off for the first night of just doing shots, just playing around, see what its capabilities are. The ISO on this is ridiculous. I had, for the people that said that the ISO could be better, what camera were you using before and what are you comparing it to? Because I'm just doing a natural progression. And yes, there are cameras better than this. Yes, the Sony camera, yes. But in the Canon land, I think, come on. I just felt like I kept going and going on the ISO. And then when I looked at the pictures, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Secondly, the IBIS, it's awesome. I wish it could shut off for certain scenarios, but it's awesome. Now, how awesome is it? Could it be better? Scenario-wise, workflow-wise, yes, 100%. But considering what they've done, yeah, okay, we're good. We can work with it. When we look at the idea of the whole system and how you can change your different settings, this could be improved. I totally agree with that. And I found some workarounds. I'm going to still be playing around with them, so I'm going to make a video about that as well. And overall, my experience with this, just going out and doing night photography, was just delight. I was just like, man, this is amazing. The idea to say that you put down the camera and you say the camera is no good because of XYZ, I don't know. Now, with the updates that they did in the dual slot recording, I'm like, just like, I think that was a big push for me, knowing that that's going to happen, because I wanted to have that and not worry about losing anything. I think that's been my biggest fear with the Canon R, using that. And you can understand now, put this into perspective on the workflow. When we're going out and shooting different scenarios, we need to know what the cameras can do. If I'm going from a Canon R body that shoots 24 frames on 4K in crop zone, and I don't have any issues, I can record on forever. I have never had issues with it just overheating. If I could do that, I expect this to at least do an hour to an hour and a half and not have to worry about it. And I guess that's what I was looking at when I purchased it. And that was kind of like something that I had to sit back. And when I started looking for creators now, I'm looking at their workflow, and does the workflow relate to me? And this is why I want to make these videos, so that you guys can make a more informed decision in that way. Your workflow is king in your business. If your workflow is flawed, then your workflow will force your business to suffer. That's the bottom line. And this is where, when we make these videos as creators, I think we have a responsibility to address certain issues. So when somebody's looking at it, they're not going to be like, well, I bought it because you recommended it. And then, yeah, you're wrong. And I think we see this more often than not, but yet, we just let it go. And then we just kind of like not watch the YouTuber for a while. And I think that's like the pattern that I've seen. I might be wrong, but that's what I've seen. And then eventually you come back to them because their personality, what they're doing, you name it. Like, it's kind of like, it's the whole experience. So I will be doing more of these videos. I will be doing reviews. I will be doing the tests. Leave your questions below, whether you have had the camera or you're planning to purchase it. I will be reviewing the questions and making the videos, a lot of them based on the questions that I'm getting, so that we can do real testing based on people's workflows. So leave your workflow below. Explain what you are doing. Explain what issues you've had, okay, so I can replicate them. Of course, if you don't have the camera, but you have certain workflows, let me know. If it's like to leave the camera to run it for XYZ scenario, let me know. I live in Canada. So, I mean, if you're planning on telling me to go out to the desert, that might not be doable. However, if you want me to go stand in the minus 20-degree weather and let it run to see how long it goes, I'll probably do it. Don't worry. I'm probably going to be doing it anyways, because I got to test it. And when we have those minus 20-degree weather days, I'll probably do it, and then I'll, see where it goes. So again, leave those below, and check out these two videos.